It's a day to appreciate all the heroes in our society. And today we have Rafiki wa Mtaa. The heroes we have today, exceptional lady and gentlemen doing amazing things in the world to change the world to be a better place, giving back. They're so selfless. Welcome to Afrodess Media, your number one online inspirational TV program. This is Kofi Val Show. And before we continue, make sure you subscribe to our channel. Book us for your events coming soon, live streaming services, and also for your music distribution. Joining me today to talk about charity work and good work, giving back to the society, is Rafiki wa Mtaa, and they'll introduce themselves.
Thank you, Val. I am Joy-Ann.
And I am Andove David.
Andove David and Joy-Ann, thank you so much for joining me today to talk about Rafiki wa Mtaa. So Joy-Ann, maybe introduce Rafiki wa Mtaa.
Okay, Rafiki wa Mtaa Pads and Panty Initiative is a CBO funded by 4 people, the 2 of us and 2 more ladies. They were Shangas.
Yeah.
We started in 2020, whereby we noticed that there's a gap in terms of period. There's period poverty everywhere. So we sat down and thought, what could we do, small or big, to change that? And that is where Rafiki wa Mtaa Pads and Panty Initiative came through. What we do is we provide pads and panties to citizens, that is the street women and girls. We also collect clothes, shoes, belts when you're going there, so that even the boy child doesn't lack anything, you know. Because they also come and they're like, you're setting the ladies, what about us? So we try to collect the clothes, the shoes, the belts, to make sure also the boys are sorted. Aside from the distributing pads and panty, we also conduct menstrual education or period education, whereby we educate girls and women, not only on the street, but also in different locations where we're invited. We talk about periods, we talk about period cleanness, how to keep yourself clean. Also, because that is also a way to eradicate period stigma. I don't know if you remember, there's a time a while back there was a story of Jacqueline, of a young girl who started her periods when she was in school.
Yes. And
the teacher was like, you've identified yourself. And mind you, it's a female teacher who's saying this. That day she ended up committing suicide. So we don't want another Jacqueline story, and we want it to end with Jacqueline. That is why we always talk about periods, because even now you find it's actually very effective. Because there's another interview we went with Devi when I was on my periods, and I remember I had a very bright trouser, and I was telling Devi, niangalie huku nyuma. And then I realized, yes, it got to a point where so free with even Devi that I can even tell him, niangalilia hina, I can even tell him, buy me tambo as a friend, and it's not a weird conversation. That is the kind of conversation we want everyone to have with their friends.
Absolutely. Yeah. And how did the name come about, Rafiki wa Mtaa?
Finding the name was a very tricky one. I remember.
Maybe Joe, can I answer that?
It's okay.
Yes, yes.
You see, all through, I always want to answer this question because this name, it was God sent, you know.
Yeah.
Because I remember we went for this meeting, and we were like, okay, Sasa, we have the thing, we have the idea, we have the plan, we have what we want to do. So, what's the name of this organization? We spent like 3 days searching for this organization's name, and apparently Joe ndio come na the suggestion.
Wow.
And she was like, what about Rafiki wa Mtaa? And everybody agreed. We were like, oh yeah, Rafiki wa Mtaa, because we were suggesting names, because there's a no apana names, no apana, but Rafiki wa Mtaa, it's an umbrella which sealed everything. Yeah, thanks to Joe.
I actually took the ideas. I was not talking in those meetings. I was just listening to them. Say, everyone's friends. I just listened to the ideas. Actually, it was all them. I just said what they wanted to hear.
Wow.
Yeah.
So do you only? Oh, you said you don't only deal with the street ladies.
No. Especially with the menstrual education and providing, we go where we're invited. At the moment now we are working with a group in Kibera whereby they uplift young mothers, so we also talk to them on the period angle. We have another project in Homa Bay whereby we talk to the women there and also show them how to use the period products. So no, it's not only on the street, because menstrual education is something that every woman should have the opportunity to have. Yeah.
You started in 2022, as you've said.
2020. Yeah,
Oh,
2
sorry.
years.
2 years. And you're already doing great, because I saw you on the streets and it was really, that day it was raining actually. And I saw you distributing the pads and even food to the street.
The time we would collaborate with another organization called Chiwote, and I'm not sure if the moment they're still, I don't think they're still on. It was a collaboration, because even though the street needs the pads, you'll find food is also a necessity. It's a big, even up to now, as we take the pads, we asked, what about food? Mama, chakula ya mtoto. So that's why the collaboration came through. But when the group died, we didn't find another organization to collaborate with, but we are working on it.
So those were the stakeholders you were working with.
Yeah.
Now you don't have any other stakeholders,
no.
You work.
We would plan another organization to come.
Actually, they are not maybe stakeholders, but we were partners.
Okay.
Yeah, we used to partner during.
It was actually just a group of friends who came together and would cook for the street.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So this Rafiki wa Mtaa thing, it's now the Washangas who came with the idea, then you joined
It was Grace's idea, and
Yes.
then she was like, I need people to help me do this. So she was like, I'm looking for two kind of people, organizers and members. I don't know how Devi talked to her, but I remember I just saw it on her WhatsApp, and I was like, okay, Tori, what do you want me to do? She was like, I want you to be a part of the organizing team. I'm like, okay, sure thing. They did the same thing, so they are members, and now they are the co-founders, that is the organizers. Yeah.
How many are you so far?
We are 4 co-founders and 2 member representatives.
So that's 6.
Yeah, but the members are like 70.
Yeah, 70.
70.
Yes.
That's all over the country.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So for me, the way I came to be part of this Rafiki Mtaa, Grace Washanga, the way you guys are calling her, let me say Tori. Yeah, she came up with this idea. Okay, me and Grace, we were friends a while back, because of theater and stuff. Yeah, so when she was like, Davy, by the way, Nikona, this thing I wanted to do, we used to share ideas, and also me, I could tell him, but then back at home, I want to have this organization, 1, 2, 3. Oh, niakusaidia watu, yeah, okay, so Devi here, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So, and that's how I came to be part of Rafiki wa Mtaa. Yeah.
Amazing, and I'm glad that you are a gentleman and you're taking initiative. You're part of this. Maybe you need to recruit more gentlemen to this, because we must end the period stigma.
Half of Rafiki members are men.
Wow.
Yes.
That's an achievement.
Yes. We actually, there's a Rafiki men's side, which is so amazing, because they have so many misconceptions about periods. So we also have Rafiki is a family.
Wow.
Yeah, so after donations, we just have a sit down, we have games, we eat, and we share about problems of society, not only on periods, the time we talk about gender-based violence, the times we talk about mental health. So it's a family that is ready to uplift everyone. Yeah.
And again, when it comes to maybe men and embracing menstruation and stuff, I feel like we usually fight for maybe our ladies, let's say, because there is this program which Joanne mentioned earlier, Mamito, it's Mama, Mimi na Mtoto, which is headed by a fellow gentleman, and he's called Rizzi. We usually know him as Rizzi, and the organization is called Global Vision Achievers.
Yes.
So they're doing an incredible work back there at Kibera. But you see, Rizzi, he is a man doing that work, you see. So he's the one who also brought us on board and everything like that. Yeah.
Wow, and again, how do you get support, the donations and all that? How are you able to cope up to continue with this initiative?
Basing on maybe factors like how do we receive donations, I would say like ni God. Honestly speaking, it's God. Yeah, because we don't have this like maybe a permanent place where we usually get our donations, but you can find maybe this month, maybe you can come in and say, hey, hi David, so Nikona, these pads, how can I bring them in town? You see, like, and you find it's like maybe 2 boxes of pads, or even somebody can donate maybe cash, money, but we usually prefer pads because money has a lot of
Issues, I know.
Yeah.
So far it's all friends, family, well-wishers, because people don't have an idea how a carton of pads goes a long way.
Yeah.
Wow.
That carton of pads goes a long way. It will help a lot of women. And no matter how small you think it is, that's 100 bob, that's 200 bob, it goes a long way. Because when we're getting it as pads, you give them out as pads. When you get it as money, now we buy the panties and supplement. And also they'll find girls who have not started their periods, like maybe they're younger. So we give them the panty, and then you tell them, when you start, tutakuletea pads. Yeah.
What do you give to the men that time?
The men, that's why we're doing the clothes and the belts and the shoes. Yeah, but before we would do food, which will be beneficial to everyone. But at the moment, if there's another organization who would like to come through and partner, I would love that.
And are you working on sustainability? Something sustainable?
That is actually where the trick is. Because one of our main goals is not only to give us the pads, but also empower that woman. We want that woman to get to a point whereby she can buy her own pads and probably buy for the friend. So our main goal is to empower the woman out of activities. We have worked with different organizations whereby they have given work to women. They teach the skill and give work. At the moment, we are working on, I don't know if I should say it.
Yes,
we are working on trying to make shea butter. Which are being made by the women. We're trying to make Rafiki products. I remember you asking me if we have merchandise. We're also working on that.
That's
so
great.
At the moment, the problem with these issues, honestly, it's money. Remember what we were learning in school?
Lack of capital. It was a serious point, by the way.
It is. I don't know where though, but we do as much as we can. As we work on the shea butter, as the label comes out, we're definitely going to tell you guys.
Thank you for that. You're doing an amazing work, all of you.
Thank you. So, to add on Joyanne's point, you said merchandise and stuff. I would say also you can find this T-shirt has been written Rafiki wa Mtaa Pads and Panties Initiative, and behind the Madikwa hashtag I sponsored a period. So we usually find it hard, maybe mostly gents, kwa kubuy these T-shirts as maybe promoting our organization. To add on what Joanna said about merchandise, I would say for us currently as Rafiki wa Mtaa, we are working on rebranding this merchandise which other people maybe will want to promote us with. For example, you see this our T-shirts zimeandikwa Rafiki wa Mtaa Pads and Panties Initiative, and huku nyuma imeandikwa hashtag I sponsored a period. I want to believe that no man can randomly wear a T-shirt and go to a party with such things, and that's why we are working on creating other brand of promoting our merchandise.
So it will be like something like Rafiki wa Mtaa, just like that.
It's going to be something small.
Okay.
We're trying to find how unique it can be. We're still working on the design, but we want it to be something very, very simple, but yet it's speaking the message.
While on the streets and while doing these, while driving these initiatives, what are some of the lessons you learn along the way, or when you started, or lessons you're still learning?
For me, I'll say one big lesson or one major lesson that I've learned is just assist anybody. Assisting wanga come with so much prize, but when you assist, God anakureward. You see, for example, hawezi jua angel ni nani, because sisi wote tumeumbwa in the same image and likeness of God. Just talk to someone. Huyu mtu bibi ana plan kujua that night. But ukiongea na yeye unaweza msaidia. The same applies to citizens. For us, I would say mimi as an individual, kusema tu kweli, Rafiki wa Mtaa has opened many doors for me. I don't know how, but I know nikisaidia watu through Rafiki wa Mtaa. You see, any debt yenye inaambianga God, to be honest, manze nimesaidia watu sana. This time ni wewe ndio unisaidie, unaona? God yenyewe pia ana understand, anasema mtoto wangu anafungua hii door.
And come through.
So
that's my point.
And I've learned not to take things for granted, no matter how small you think it is. Because you'd think a packet of pads worth 50 bob is small for you. You'd think it as a very simple thing, but when you go to the streets, especially on our first times on the streets, we would find women using cartons, dirty clothes, they're having infections. Others, there's a story I remember, I don't remember where I watched it, and the girl was saying, and not even in town, it was as the streets of in Roysambu at the roundabout. She'd say on her periods she would sit down on the soil,
the BBC story.
and let the soil soak in the blood, and then after the days are over, now she can actually go back to normal. And if you can think about it as a woman, when you have the pads, when you have the products, when you have even the painkillers, periods are also very stressful. Like the times you have cramps, the times you don't have the moods, the times you just have so much going on, even in your emotions, and you have so much going on, and you have the products. Now think you have all that going on, you're sleeping on the streets, you don't have the... So I've just learned to appreciate things, to appreciate family, to appreciate friends, those who come through for you, and also, as Devi has said, to help how much you can. Don't ever think that I'm helping and then what. Don't even go with the notion that you're helping, that it can come back to you. Just do it because you want to do it. Because when we go there, sometimes you even forget. You forget about life. When you're in the city, you forget you have a life. You forget you have problems. You forget because you're there to give your all. And that is so beautiful when you see those women happy because they have pads for that month.
Wow.
Yeah, that is enough fulfillment for us.
So how many pads do you give them, and do you think that these pads, since they don't last, is it really helpful?
Give them per month, the last Sunday of the month. So sometimes you give one, sometimes you give two. It all depends with how much we have in stock, but most one or two. With the panties, sometimes we don't have money for the panties, so it all depends with what we have. But we even though sometimes, this, that we use around 2 packets of pads per month, we may not have the resources to give 2, but at least that one is going a long way. Because sometimes you go to the street and the woman is saying, hey, asante, and I expect periods zangu next week and I didn't know even what to do. Or you find mtu hana periods but anasema, I'll help my friend, I'm hoping by the time you guys come back I'll get others, because my friend, especially when you hear someone has extreme bleeding, you see sometimes you have people who have extreme bleeding, or when you have issues like endometriosis, sometimes you're over bleeding. So we know those at this point after 2 years, we know specific women that have problems, so we give them at least 2 to make sure peleka hiyo mwezi.
On this, you.
To add on what Joanna said, there is this month which we never went to donate. So and while I was passing, I am at the University of Nairobi, and I was passing across Jibanji, where we usually meet. So there is this ladies who normally stay there. So I don't know how they saw me, because when I'm not in this t-shirt, nobody can recognize me, especially the citizens. So they were like, hey brother, hey man, leo umetutupa this month. So it just sprang on my mind that kumbe tukimiss this donation, inaweza affect this big. And so I'm supporting Joanne will amesema, like this one pad, two pads, like they're so essential for these ladies.
And have you thought about reusable pads, something that can last?
Actually we thought about it, but you see, these are citizens, and when you introduce reusable pads to them, maybe when you look at inside their sanitation and everything, they won't wash it, maybe they will start to be infected. So we saw reusable pads are not a good option for them. But when we go to other locations, maybe let's say we go to other places where there is sufficient supply of water and stuff, we usually reuse and give them the reusable pads.
Wow, so that's already a challenge in the streets.
Yeah, very, very.
Wow. Welcome back to Coffee with Val Show. So, Devi and Joya, let's talk about menstrual stigma and how you are planning to deal with it, how we can deal with it, and it should end actually. It should. So, what are you doing to let people know about the stigma, to try and stop and end it?
Okay, let us start with me, per se. Being a man and involving yourself in such activities of menstruation, it has been a journey, to be honest. I know Atakina Joanna Joy, like for me as a man, it has been hard for me to embrace menstruation, but I came to learn about menstruation along the way. I came to know about menstrual hygiene, these infections, you see. So there is this day, Joanne, you remember the day we went to Dr. Victor?
Yeah.
Yeah, so imagine for you as a man going to learn about a vagina amongst ladies, you know, because it was Joanne, that time it was a certain girl called Lucy, IJ, Tori, and me.
And you.
Yeah. So
You are the only gentleman around.
yeah, because we had to first, before going to the streets, we have to understand these things first on a professional level. But one thing which made me comfortable that day is because Dr. Victor, he's a man. He's a man. Yeah. So and again, for me, I usually say this. Okay, this is point number 2. I usually say this. This menstrual stigma, it does not affect men that much. It usually affects ladies. You can find a lady, like for example, in that Mtaa, I said from Kina Joyanna and Tori, you can find maybe a new member. Okay, she knows that at Mtaa we usually talk about menstruation, but she cannot approach me and tell me, hey, David, by the way, niko kwa my period. Okay, maybe she can, but if she approaches me, she'll be laughing, and I'm like, kwani mbona unacheka? Okay, una menstruate. Okay, good. At least uko fertile. You see, so I usually say that menstruation, if ladies will accept the fact that they can tell anybody about their periods, it can be nice. Yeah.
Talking of memories, there was a time we were going to Davis somewhere. I think it was another interview, and I was to cancel on that morning because my period, it was that month. Zinakuja na ubaya.
Hey,
So I'm telling him, hey David, I don't think I'll make it. I feel like, what's wrong? And I'm like, I have the worst cramps. I'm feeling sick. I'm feeling pathetic. He told me, you just come. I was like, okay, let's go. So I'm waiting for David at the stage, and I'm like, where's David? David wants me to stand here for this long. Where's David? So David comes with me and he's like, here's water. Here are painkillers. Don't worry. And it hit me. This actually really goes a long way.
It goes.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you were so happy at that moment.
I really was. Because it actually got better. After I was like, what are you craving? I was like, I want a smoky. And I was like, do you want another? I was like, yeah.
Wow.
I know. So we can see from David that it goes a long way.
Yeah.
There was the time he even said, mimi najua hadi kuvaa tampon, najua hadi kuvaa pads. Kitu nimebakisha ni kupata hizo periods.
I did really different
And
pieces
when
of
I knew- Because he has to also teach, so he has to learn.
Yeah.
He has to learn
That's
all
true.
those, even know what a cup is. He knows hakuna kitu ya menstruation Devi hajui. And that is how we get to know that we're actually doing something good. And when you go to mashinani, the likes of Homa Bay, or just where it's rural, you can tell people are even shy when Devi is teaching them. Another guy called Martin akiwafunza, like you can see they are shy because it's a guy who's talking to them, especially the young girls. But then we try to tell them this is normal.
It's normal, very normal.
We are products of missed periods.
Exactly.
So where would you
Wow.
not embrace that?
Did you know that?
But,
Of course.
Yeah, I knew, but she has used another term, product of missed
Periods?
Yes, we are.
We are?
Yes, we are. And if you're going to talk negatively about, especially, I don't like when a guy says like, ew, you're in your periods, ew. This is a normal thing. It has been in existence since the time of Eve. Why
That's
would we
true.
not embrace it and make our lives easier as women? Because now I remember my first experience with pads and my dad. I'm sorry, Dad. My first experience with my dad, I was going to boarding in class 6. I did not have my periods, but from those, you see that list you're given of things you need to have on your
Shopping
going,
list,
that. And we were shopping with him, so we were like, they are taking this, that, and they were like, period products. Can you angalia? Joanna ujanzo, si ndio? You don't need that.
Akaeka X.
I was going to boarding school in class 6, and there was this list of things you need to have. And among the list was periods products, was pads. And I remember in the supermarket, and he was like, Joanne, I don't think you need this. Next. He was so quick with it. But the good thing is now when we went to the school and we were waiting for us to be administered, there was another girl who was going to the same school, and she was like, I was telling her, imagine I didn't get pads. She was like, why? Because I've not said that, and I can't have that conversation with my dad. And then alikuwa na big sis yake, so akamwambia, don't worry, I have 2 packets, I'll give you one.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So I didn't need them, but that's
you never know.
Yes.
You might need them.
So the other 2 months ulifanyaje, because 1 packet is for 1 month.
I had not started, so I didn't really need them. So it was like more of an emergency kind of thing.
Okay.
Yeah, but funny thing, I started my periods in that school, so it came in handy. It really did. And now, funny thing also, I've never had a menstrual conversation with my mom. I've had them now that I'm in Rafiki.
Yeah.
Now that she knows I'm in Rafiki, what we do in Rafiki. So I tell her, why didn't we have this conversation? Like, we need to have this conversation.
When you're still young.
Before I started, she was like, we did not have that conversation as we were growing up. I'm like, you can't use that as an excuse that your mom didn't give you this, so you don't give it. It doesn't really make sense. The same way you didn't go to school with shoes, you don't expect me to go to school without shoes and I can get them. Like we have the means to. So I think we need to talk about this more often.
Yeah.
That is why I've changed the narrative with my sister. My sister knows everything about periods.
Wow.
She's 11 and she doesn't even have periods. At the time she was
and she knows about
and she called me. Trying to think about my periods. So we got her the pads, we got her the panty liners. We're telling her, this is how you wear this. This is how you wear this. This is a pad pouch. She has a pad pouch in her school bag. She doesn't have periods, but she has a pad pouch with pads and panty liners. Why? Because she knows her friend can need them.
That's true, and that's very amazing.
At least the narrative totally. She will even tell me, Miksha has told me I need to wear pads for 8 hours. Gianni told me it's 6. So what do I listen to? I tell her 8. It's because of what you hear on the TV for the purpose of marketing. But 6 should be at the maximum because blood, bacteria, the same way.
You may get infection.
At least I like when she comes and she's asking this, is it this true? Because now she's aware.
Yeah,
she's aware.
She has the information.
Yeah, because even now, even if a schoolmate or a classmate doesn't have that information and has a men's periods, it's easy for her to tell her, don't worry, I have pads, let's go to the washroom, we will sort this.
Wow.
You get it. It makes things easier, and instead of having another Jacqueline story, we just need to change the narrative and talk about it. Even from our dads, because right now I tell my dad very comfortably, I'm not feeling well. Why? I'm on my periods and I'm having bad cramps. And we're like, oh, now he understands that we can talk about this, because now I'm making sure we talk about this, because when I'm not there, when my mom is not there, it's my dad who will have to handle my sister when that time comes. So we need to have these more conversations more to a point it's very normal.
Absolutely.
It needs to be. I don't see why it shouldn't. It's something that has been with us since forever.
And it's still with us, and it's something that is not going to stop.
Exactly.
That's why we need to really talk about it.
And again, I feel like for us to end this menstrual stigma, we need to introduce this topic in our own personal spaces. For example, kama uko church with your friend, just talk to. Usiongoje mtu ende uko mbele kwa podium and say, bwana so menstrual, I work, let us engage in this conversation. Kama ni your family, kama you're a guy, talk to your sister. Kama you're a sister, someone's sister, talk to that guy.
Talk to your brother, your father,
friend.
your friend.
I've even found guys who stock pads, panty liners, and tampons in their houses. Because they know they have girlfriends, they have other
sisters,
they have family.
other friends.
If they're going to visit and have an emergency, they don't feel stranded. They don't even have to ask, but at least they know it's somewhere they can say it. I went to another guy's house and it was so nice because I think I have that video. He had like a jar and it has tampons in it. both super and normal. I was like, this is nice.
He's even aware of
should be like that.
It
Yes,
should be
because
like that.
He doesn't even. You don't have to tell him. I mean, in this situation, you know it's there. You don't even need it.
Wow.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what should happen, because you realize that most men are still afraid of even buying pads and tampons and
even
the cups
touching the pads.
even touch. Why can't men embrace periods?
Okay. I can say this. You see, for men, I feel like there is this menstrual stigma which has been implanted to us by the society, whereby you cannot go and buy a pad, you cannot buy a tampon by yourself as a man. You see, even the shopkeeper himself won't sell it to you. Maybe he will wrap it with a certain gazette. So there is this time I was going to buy a pad, and this shopkeeper wrapped the same, like he did the same thing na kanipatia. So nikamuuliza mbona umeirap ati chukua mtu asione. Hasa mimi nimekuja nimenunua, sijataka urap. So I feel like vitu kama kubuy hizi menstrual products, I feel ikuwe na shame because I feel kama ni kitu mbaya. Yeah.
I support the way. I also don't like a shopkeeper wraps it like that. I even tell them, why are you wrapping it like it's something
You pay
normal.
too.
Yeah, I even have a shopping bag and he still wants to wrap
it.
I don't like that. Also, it also starts with something as simple as when maybe pads or tampons company are advertising and then they're using a blue fluid. Since when did blood become blue? Like,
by
what are you trying to tell us? It's something as simple as that, actually. And then they try to show us how amazing periods are. Oh, they're so. Periods are not that fun.
They're not interesting. Actually, the most boring moment.
Like your body is shedding.
Yeah.
It's crying.
They should be showing us something like a hot water bottle. Is anapatiwa painkillers. They're trying to brighten up the day. They're trying to give her what she's craving.
Absolutely.
Something realistic, Also, for men, I don't know. I think intentions are very essential. Like the way Devi was saying, for him to learn, it was very intentional for him. You need to have the intentions that, like, I want to learn how what happens. So if you don't have the intentions, it won't work out. If you want to actually learn it as a man, if you don't have the intentions, it won't work out. The easiest way for me to eliminate when I'm looking for a partner, the easiest way for me to eliminate a guy is when I send him something like a pad or a tampon. I may not even need it. I just ask them, can you buy me this and this? And I'm like, this size or this super. I don't even need it, but his reaction to search will tell me, is this person compatible? Because when you're looking for a partner, it's also you're looking for the father of you. So if your child is not comfortable telling the dad that this is actually happening, why would you take your child through that?
Shouldn't risk.
You shouldn't. So it's very simple. When you have the intentions to actually learn this and to learn what actually goes through, very important. Still can be wow, I'm on my periods, I'm feeling very shitty. The people like, this is so emotional.
You're overreacting.
Yes, again, to add on what Joanna said, these intentions needs to come from your heart. You see, like understanding this concept about menstruation, it's like, it's like you need to be human. You need to have humanity in you. You see, for example, in Rafiki Mtaa, the men in Rafiki Mtaa, even the ladies, they understood menstruation si kitu mbaya, and they ought to assist these ladies. Yeah, so just the way Joanna said, it's intentional, and
So we are ending it. We are ending the stigma.
Yes, step by step.
Step by step.
And to end this stigma, we need to break these taboos and
I was coming to the cultural misconceptions and myths and all those, especially some communities I don't want to mention, who still think that when you're on your periods you're unclean, you're dirty, you shouldn't do anything. The places you can't even serve, you can't cook for anyone. They
you can't milk a cow.
You can't go to the farm.
Those
myths.
Have no idea how strong that period is. After people use periods as face mask, you'd be shocked. people have no idea the strength in that period. Spiritually as a person, and also the benefits of it. Because it's coming from your body, it's nutrients from your body. You know, periods is where your uterus walls are shedding what will have helped the baby grow. So it has nutrients to support that baby. So at the end of the day, I don't know, there's beauty to it. There should be.
There is this feature film I have done, but I've not produced it yet. I really laughed because it's called, no, I can't say the name, but the theme it's about menstruation, and the setting is maybe like how this family embraces menstruation. So while I was shooting it, I came across these funny taboos. For example, do you know this pumpkin? There is imalenge. Ati ukicross, then itakauka kama una menstruate. So I was like, Jesus
this
Christ.
This is biological process.
Ukiangalia season, hiyo tema uko na mvua, itakauka. We went with Tori. It was last Saturday. We went to Mamito, like the project in Kibera. So we were asking these ladies, like, what are the menstrual taboos zenye washesikia. So a lot of the girls, unajua like wako like ni teen moms, so ni teenager na ngapi? 13 to 19 na wako na watoto. So they are like ukiruka malenge na una menstruate, hiyo malenge inakauka. So sisi tulikuwa tunacheka tu, but at the end we were convinced that hiyo ni taboo na they shouldn't embrace it at all. At all in capital letters.
Na sasa unajua the problem is when unawaambia unaweza pata hata ni wazazi, unaweza pata watu wenye wanafaa wakuonyeshe the right way, ndio sawa wanakuambia hizi myths and misconceptions.
And we tend to trust people, especially kama ni family, the mothers, grandmothers. Na akikwambia kitu kama hiyo, you actually believe it, because you'll find maybe aliambiwa na mamake, it goes down there. So as I'm saying, it's very intentional when you're trying to change this, even as a person. For you to intentionally say, I want to change this, I want to break this, it's very intentional. So for the moms who have girls, the moms who have boys, also teach your boys.
Exactly. Teach your boys.
Yeah, your boys are the future husbands, they're the future fathers, they're the future boyfriends. So you have to be very intentional. So that adding later when you have even your pads in the house, you don't be like, ini pampers your mom. No. Ini pads your mom, anatumianga monthly because of this and this and that. They have the actual information.
Because I remember even asking my mom when I was young, and she couldn't even tell me. You just say, in young, they called it mkate or something. Mkate. But then when I went to school, and then there was this group, mwalimu alikuwa mzuri sana, Madam Pamela, big up wherever you are. Alianza hii group ya girls, inaitwa Bougainvillea group. And apparently, I was chosen to head it. I didn't know anything about periods and everything, and I hadn't even started it yet. And there I was, naambiwa ni change pesa from people so that tukuange nazo shule. So that if there is an emergency, we can be able to help. It was a process, I'm telling you. She was nice. So at least I learned and I knew more about it. And I was teaching people actually. They know, wanajua pale primary school. At least it's a good group. Ina empower watu. Now the only problem is ilikuwa tu ya wasichana pekee. We should involve men now.
As early as the child can understand. Because if you're going to exclude them as kids, you're going to exclude them in high school, then you're going to exclude them when they're adults, and it's going to go all the way. So
absolutely.
You intentionally include even the men. And also there's this notion of when you're using things like, when you use a tampon, it's going to break your virginity. When you use cups, menstrual cups, I also don't like that notion, because I don't know if people think a virginity is something, it's like a wall whereby it's broken.
But that's what we are told.
But it's not. It's just a very thin line of membrane. And even after you break it, that membrane can reform. Because it's just a membrane, So the notion from tampons can break your menstrual cups. Tampons are very comfortable. I hate the fact that I got to learn that very late in life. Tampons are very comfortable when you wear them at the right times, not more than 4-5 hours. A menstrual cup, I am still getting there. I'm trying to get the courage to use a cup. But if you can use something for 12 hours without thinking of changing it, not thinking of you leaking, not thinking of can I swim, can I not swim? That is comfort of the highest order in terms of now all you have to deal with is the other things, the moody, the cravings. At least that is the only thing you have to deal with. So let's try to have this conversation more often. And also in terms of reusable pads, we can talk about that more often, because you'll find, because a normal pad will take years to decompose. It will take 15 to 20 years for a pad to decompose. So if you can use a reusable pad, you're also trying to save the environment.
Exactly.
So we have to be very intentional with how we're going to handle this.
Good point there. What are some of the challenges you face as you drive this Rafiki wa Mtaa initiative? We'll start with you, Devi.
First and foremost, like for every organization, the main challenge in inakwanga funds. So I would say, like in Rafiki wa Mtaa, not having maybe a specific place where we usually get our donations, it's a big challenge. So if we can tackle this problem, then it can be a perfect thing for us as an organization.
It explains why we're looking for strategies to have. They were talking about sustainability. Explains why we need to work on that, but also needs finances.
Absolutely.
That's the trick to it. And also on the challenges.
Another challenge I can say is you see a lot of people, maybe we can say that they embrace this menstruation thing as a bad thing. I don't know why. So you can find like maybe a person wants to come to our donations, but akiuliza tunafanya nini and involve menstruation and pads and whatever, atatoa excuse ya kutokuja donation. You get it? So hiyo bado itaturudisha kwa hiyo point ya menstrual stigma. And another challenge I can say is maybe, I don't know if Rafiki wa Mtaa we have faced a lot of challenges because God amekuwa na sisi all through. So hatuna challenge nyingine, si ndio? Isipokuwa pesa.
Pesa ndo shida.
Pesa. Alafu maybe another challenge tukianzanga like uko mazomazo, you see for these citizens to accept you, like lazima wa build your trust na wewe. So tukianzanga walikuwa very hostile nini, wana tunyang'anya vitu zetu mpaka ilifaa tukuja na some security personnel kwa our donations that time. But sahi so far wametujua mpaka wanajua majina zetu, mpaka tuki carry luggages wanatusaidianga, wanaleta nini kwa the destination. So nasema hiyo challenge pia ya security iko nice.
But that is something we expected, because we came to think about it and thought, if you live in a hostel world, everything to you is done in a hostel way. You'd think no one is having good intentions, because you know the first people to go to the streets, we're not going to be the last. And not everyone goes there with good intentions. They've had people who have gone there, taken pictures, looked for organizations outside the country, gotten fundings. But at the end of the day, the people who are taking the pictures are the ones who are actually getting the money. They're not going back to the streets. So we understand where the hostility was coming from. And with time, when the Devia amesema tumekuja kuwajua, and now it's really not an issue anymore. Another problem is the brands of pads. I remember the time like when a new pad would come out, and no one of us has used the product, would go like, who has used this and this company? Okay, no one. Let me use it this month, see how it goes, see if it's something we can take it to the streets. You get? But then sometimes you find it's either so thin, or the material, I don't know, the gel, like, there's just so many things in the pads that you don't even know if it's good for them. And then they'll find that they want thick ones because they want to change the list as less times as possible so that they can save the pads. So you find when you're taking a thin one, they'll be like, these are changed after a very few hours, and I have heavy flows. So getting to get now we have a good brand that we use that they like. But then it took time of experimenting and trying, but yes.
And sometimes when people go to buy the parts,
even us ourselves, even this renewal, when you're going to buy, you find inakuchoma, you're smelling funny. I don't know. Pad products, please do better. Do better for us. Yes, please.
For our health.
Do better for them.
You also ask.
Us. Excuse me. Any other challenges so far? How did the men take this when you're approaching them?
At first, they don't, especially when a newcomer comes, they're not sure how to respond. So they try to read the vibe. They're just silent, trying to read the vibe, see how it goes. They see how Devi is doing it. They see how Martin is doing it. They just try to read the vibe. And then they understand, this is actually a very friendly environment. People are actually shocked that it's actually a very friendly environment in terms of the conversations we have. So with time, they actually get into it. They even ask questions. They say, there's a time we had a question of someone asking, so at sister, how many pads do we use in a day? And the guy said, like, I think 2 in a day, and then usiku how many. So we're asking him, why would 2 use at night? So I'm like, Simelala, like, there's no time to eat.
It was fun.
Yeah, it was rough. There's no time to eat. Like, if it's 4 to 5 days all the way. And I also like to say, if you get periods more than 7 days, that is actually not normal. Please go get checked. The maximum is 7 days if I'm not wrong. And also period cramps. We have normalized period cramps for too long. There's nothing wrong with feeling, when you're ovulating or in your periods, you'll feel like you're being poked. Yeah. Which is, if it's a pain you can sustain as a person willing. But if you feel it's extreme to a point you can't do your normal things, I'd advise to get checked. It might be another whole problem to it. There's so many problems down. I also have an issue with how we don't talk about the problems that women face in terms of reproduction. But there's so many problems that we don't even talk about. I don't even know all of them as a lady when I should, because we don't have those conversations. So people need to know kuna vitu kama fibroids when they can cause the pain. There's so many that goes around in a woman's body. So if you feel the pain is too much as a person, just go get checked.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And despite the challenges, why do you still keep going? What pushes you? What moves you?
To be honest, I would say like a lot of organizations have failed because of poor structure. But when it comes to Rafiki Mtaa, you find like we are very organized. We have this team and they know what they're supposed to do at what time. We have these members, and for the members we have a specific team which are dealing with menstrual education stuff, like for example in Kibera, so that somebody can strain all the time. And I would say like in Rafiki Mtaa, just the way the name goes, Rafiki Mtaa. See, okay, as much as it's a universal name like Rafiki Mtaa, we are a family ourselves. Like we usually check up on each other. Huyu anaendeleaje, niaje bro, mbona hujakuja donation? Au kuja donation juu ya fair sawa. Next time unishtue nitakutumia fair. Like we are this family which we usually help beyond the donation part and stuff. Yeah, so that's what is still pushing us. Nobody wants to lose this part of the family, right?
Yeah.
Hi, all right. We hear you.
It's a very beautiful family. Aside from that, when you're going to the donations, the way the women respond to having that one packet of pads, that one panty, you can tell it has done a lot of change. That smile is enough to keep us going. Yeah. Because that is our intentions from the word go. Yeah. And also, like, we have successful stories of women who, the time one of our women called Rose, we were having a conversation with her and she was like, mimi hata sikumbuki the last time nilikuja town. She comes to town and we're calling her for meetings. She's like, mimi hata sikumbuki mara ya mwisho nilikuja town. Why? Because successfully ametoka town and now she's at home, akona business just next to her place, and she's doing good to her point. Asema mimi sitaka kurudi town.
Wow.
That small statement of her saying mimi sikumbuki maisha nilikuja town is enough. Hata kama ni mtu mmoja, you know, we've changed her when we change her life, we have changed the daughter's life.
And many generations.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's what people need to do.
Like,
People.
like I remember.
Yeah.
I remember there is this time. Rose akona mtoto like akona watatu sio? Yeah, so there is alikuwa anaenda class 8. Okay, to be honest, hatujuingi hata like wanga to concentrate sana na the class or anything, but you see vile Rose ask for assistance that mtoto wake anafaende shule ana school fees. Imagine Rafiki Mtaa ilichanga more than 20,000.
Yes.
Wow.
Kwa huyu mtoto mwenye watu wamjui like academic physically, as in people are just amazing out here.
Yeah,
there are good people out here
all the time, because the problem with the Rose ilikuwa she had a sponsorship, but ilikuwa inaanza second term.
Oh,
so we're trying
so
to
first term.
First term.
Yeah.
This child still needs to go to first term. School fees first term ikakuja. This term wenye wameingia, yes, kuna sponsorship, but hana pesa ya shopping, things that she needs, and you realize actually the economy may change, everything inapanda bei, it's actually a strain. I was offline 2 days, narudi, people wamechanga pesa ya shopping.
Wow.
Mtoto ameenda shule. So I remember they keep
surprising you
they
and
have
the
so
great
much love, and we're very grateful for them.
Wow.
Yeah.
Something very nice you're doing. And I normally say you must not empower or inspire so many people at a go.
Yeah.
And huyo mmoja tu.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's something big.
Yes.
It's something huge.
Very true.
Mm-hmm.
Very true.
So many generations you've touched.
Very true.
Wow. So
we
we
invite you to the next generation.
I will be there.
29.
29.
Yeah, it's always the last Sunday of the month.
Which area are you visiting this time round?
We do town.
Okay.
The last Sunday of the month we do CBD and the likes. This is they come different dates, but for the town it's always the last Sunday of the month.
I'll be there.
Yes, please.
Also, now if people want to join you, Rafiki wa Mtaa.
Membership, we do take members. Membership, you have to register with 4 packets of pads. That is what we need, or 4 panties. We don't take tumbo panties. We like to take new panties because that is how important they are to us. So if you feel you can't go all the way, because we buy our panties in wholesale at Kamukunji, you can also contribute it as money, so you can go, because we buy them in wholesale. So either the 4 packets of pads or 4 panties, that is what we need for a member to register. Don't usifungiwe na the 4 people go as extreme as their pockets
That's
allow.
just the minimum.
Yeah, that's the minimum. Yes.
You can go as much as you feel.
Yes. And
where your heart is.
Also per year, a member needs to contribute 4 packets of pads.
Oh, every year?
Is it 4 or 2?
Every month. Every month.
Every month it's 2?
It's per half a year.
Annually.
Semi-annually.
No, semi-annually, so 4 packets
so
of pads.
We don't like to strain them because we also know it's also a straining time. So as much as they can, we also take what we have in.
Amazing.
Oh, plus again, we had a big challenge concerning maybe if somebody maybe a Kombali and he or she would want to contribute. We had a big challenge because this time like tungekuwa na this an mchanga pay bill
account
temporary, but currently to register in a bank. Currently we have a pay bill, and I think you will place it for your video.
You can mention it.
Okay, the account name is quite long.
The numbers
are long.
The numbers are long.
Yeah. So,
but we're going to give you the details.
Yeah.
Because we find like we have members from Mombasa, Meru, Kisumu. So we actually have members we have not physically seen.
Wow.
Funny
they
thing.
just decided to.
Yeah, we have members
support.
not physically seen, but they always support. We talk as if we know each other.
And another funny thing, like these members are the big or maybe are the major contributors to our donations, because ikifika time ya donating, we usually say that anybody can come. For example, you Val, si lazima ati uanze kufikiria haona 100 bob yenye maybe utakamu contribute. Like inafika mtu wanga to focus na hiyo, as much as umekuja uko present na umerudi nyumbani na your blessings and wanga tunafanya like Rafiki Mtaa vile tumesema ni a family. So there is 2 ways zenye mtu anaweza play kwa Rafiki Mtaa. maybe akue a permanent member ama akue volunteer. A volunteer ni ile tu nakam unajibamba kama sisi unarudi. Hivyo. Yeah.
That's amazing. So maybe you have something you've forgotten, you wanted to say, you wanted to shed more light on.
For me, I want to say thank you to every person who has been part of this journey, especially the organizing committee, Twariwashanga, Sophie Wesanza is our member representative. We have Martin, he has been so nice. Like we have Bill Makomere, the one who is in charge of graphic designing.
Wow.
Like we have a lot of people in that Mtaa. Sorry, I can't mention all of you, but nyinyi wote mko so amazing, and usiwahi dream kutoka Rafiki Mtaa, au kama utatoka pia si mbaya, but make sure unafanya something in change lives out there.
Great.
Yes, as he has said, friends and family come a long way. Like you'd find, I think you remember Gathu from high school.
Stacy Gathu.
Yeah, she's a silent selfer. You remember Eunice. It's funny how people from your past, you'd think that they don't even remember, just because you don't communicate often, that they don't see what you're doing, they see another. They don't. Sometimes when Gathu doesn't even tell me, sometimes I just go to see. You know, when you have an mchanga, sometimes it gives you the last five people who have the last five. So I'm like Stacy Gathu. I'm like, Stacy. I mean, I love that because it shows you have that intention. You have your roho yako inataka na hiyo 100 bob, hizo paketi mbili za pad,
inaenda mbali,
goes a long way
kabisa.
Plus again, can I add something?
It's okay.
Okay. There is a certain thing we want to start in Rafiki Mtaa. We have been postponing it, but I don't know why. But we need to start it. You can adopt a lady in Rafiki Mtaa, as in at least every month to make sure, for example, you adopt a certain lady, maybe anaitwa Valerie kwa street. So huyu Valerie kwa street lazima every month make sure amepata pad. So we have the list of every citizen, every beneficiary. So it's easy to assign people to adopt a lady in
That's a brilliant idea, na ni kwenye tu nimeisikia, by the way.
You have to formalize that.
You've not started it yet.
You see, such a process, you need to be very careful. So there is a lot of things we are working on currently. Then we officially formulate it.
Okay.
And also, if you feel you can't, I don't know, sometimes maybe periods is not your thing, you're thinking of another way to give back. It can be as easy as you cooking food of 5-10 people, packing it in containers and taking it to people you think they need the streets. It's as easy as that. It's easy as you buying 10 packets of pads and taking them to them. It doesn't have to be a complicated process, actually. You find your own way that can work for you, and then you do it. It doesn't have to be in town, because there's street kids in Githurai, there's street kids in
everywhere, all over.
Everywhere, So you just have to do your small part that you can, and do it with a clean heart, and that's enough.
Wow. And also I realized that even the prisoners, they also don't have pads. So it's not only the street ladies, street women. Prison homes, people are really not.
Prison people are sharing pads.
Pads and panties, sadly.
You don't even have a panty for that pad. Your last day of your period, you give me your pad with that same panty, and you wear. Because apparently, for you to go to get a packet of pads, you have to strip in front of your supervisors. That you can show
they can confirm
that you're on your period. What is that? Why would I lie? I'm on my period. What will I do with that packet of pad in prison? I can't eat it.
Speaking about prison, the way Joanna said, like prison, like it's like another world aside from the street.
It's another world.
So like currently we have been working with Red Cross.
Yes.
Because Red Cross have this idea of venturing into assisting ladies in prisons about the same. So we are still looking on how to approach that. But thanks Red Cross, they have been our partners like for the last 2 donations, and they promised to be part of this donation. So yeah, it's something which we need to try.
So where do you see Rafiki wa Mtaa in the next decade? That's a long time. Maybe 5 years.
Personally, I see Rafiki wa Mtaa going big, literally going big, because I believe when you have good intentions, grace yukufuata.
That's true.
Grace yukufuata, and people see that, and people work, people support that. So I see Rafiki wa Mtaa not just as a CBO but as an NGO. I see Rafiki wa Mtaa with a location whereby it's a safe haven for women. I see Rafiki wa Mtaa with a space whereby women can come, learn a skill, get to work there with that skill. We are producing products.
Wow.
I see Rafiki wa Mtaa going big. And that is not tough, because at the time we were sitting down and when we were turning 2 years, and we were like, we did not see this coming.
You can never see this.
Because we started in, was it March?
February 20.
Feb was our first meeting. And that same Feb in 2020 is when COVID started.
Yeah.
We almost said...
How did it go?
We almost
COVID?
said, no, we don't have to do this. COVID. But then we realized, well, even though there is COVID, periods Zahawa Wanawake has this mamina COVID.
That's true.
So we will try as much as possible to make it happen. We would get certificates from the county to make sure we can assemble as more than 4 or 5 people. We tried all we could, and we went through COVID. So I believe if we can start with COVID and
continue, and
no
now
challenge,
you're
no
great.
Rafiki we cannot pass.
Yeah.
That I'm sure.
Amazing. What about you, David?
Pardon?
How you see Rafiki wa Mtaa in the near future?
Hey man,
How's the future for Rafiki
the
wa
future
Mtaa?
is very, very bright because just the way I said earlier, like Rafiki wa Mtaa is very, very organized. For example, we usually have weekly meetings every Thursday, like the organizing committee, and we usually talk about a lot of things. For example, the way Joanne said earlier about the shea butter business, our merchandise. So every week we need to be one step ahead from last week. So we have big things coming. Walisema ufe kupost kila kitu.
You surprise people.
Yeah, so in the next 5 years we will be like, we want to be like Nairobi, not Nairobi University, United Nations.
Oh, UN.
Yeah, we want to be a big NGO, and we want to incorporate a lot of women on our merchandise business. We want to create employment. We want just to make sure hakuna any citizen in Nairobi town, because see their option kukua hapo. Hao watu tukiwapatia these business opportunities, then there will be somewhere else. Akwa mtu anataka kuishi kwa baridi. You get it?
First of all, you've changed their mindset, because
Yeah.
that's a different world.
Now, that's another challenge.
That's mentorship.
That is another
And
challenge.
empowerment.
Actually. The mindset.
Yeah.
Because the mind is very strong. The mind has power. So if you cannot willingly change the mindset, but before we actually empower the woman in terms of business, we have to change the mindset.
Absolutely.
We have to think about the mindset, because we realize that people are actually comfortable in the street.
And you'll adopt them, and then they'll go back after a week or
They are very
two.
comfortable in the street because they're not working. Kuna tuwashazoea kuomba. Because you find someone who has kids. Hiyo mtoto amelelewa from the streets, anaomba. That is their life.
That's the lifestyle.
So if they're not willing to change the mindset, no, that is an issue. Yeah.
Like the way Joanne mentioned earlier, wanga tunafanya these empowerment programs. Si ati wanga tunakuja wewe. First we study you, we tell you about the idea, and we tell you about maybe business opportunity tuko now on board. I remember that this time we partnered with Aga Limited ya kutengeneza masabuni, lotion and stuff. And you see, these ladies were paid well. So but kuna wale wenye tuliwa approach tukawaambia the same, hapo nataka, you see. So
they're comfortable.
They're comfortable.
You just talk with those who are willing to change.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It makes work easier.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. You've been amazing. So maybe just give out your social media handles where we can reach you.
On Instagram it is Rafiki wa _Mtaa.
Yeah.
Rafiki wa _Mtaa. TikTok, Rafiki wa Mtaa. Do you have Twitter?
We have Twitter.
Mtaa
Rafiki.
Mtaa Rafiki on Twitter.
Yeah.
We also have Facebook, Rafiki wa Mtaa. You also email mtarafiki@gmail.com in case you want to reach out to us. Yes, and we would love to hear from you guys. Thank you, Val. Thank you so much.
You're
Robert.
welcome.
And our personal social media account, me and over David. Anyway, yeah, and Val, you've been amazing. You are an amazing host.
Thank
and
you.
May God bless you so much.
God bless you too.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Joanne and Dave, for coming all the way. I know you've come from far. Arasitaji. Yeah, and this conversation has been amazing and will continue and talk about this conversation until we end the period stigma. Brands do you prefer?
After testing a few brands in the streets, we have realized they like soft care because it's nice and thick. Size 8, there's a time you were in Jivanji and you talked to a few of our women. We didn't get a chance to talk to you, but ikufikie. Yes, we like soft care, so we'll also not mind having a few from you. Yeah.
So thank you so much. Soft care and your brand owner prefer. So may you continue bringing to them. They've already shared their social media handles so you can read them. Make sure
Maybe
you
can say where they can drop them.
It's okay.
If you have the pads and you need to drop them, you can reach to us. Or if you can't, you can drop them at Nuria Store. It's a bookstore along, is it my avenue? It's a bookstore called Nuria Stores. You can drop them there. Just say it's for Rafiki, and they're going to call us, and we're going to pick them. Also, if you're a lady and you're stranded in town, you need a pad. You're just having those days. Pass by Nuria, they give out free pads to women who need them. Yes.
Wow, thank you so much. And Nuria Store to Peter Apple, we drop the pads in here. Okay, make sure you learn from this video, you be inspired, and also be inspired to inspire other people and impact a life. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for being with us. Make sure you subscribe to our channel and hit the notification button to get notifications every time we upload our videos. Don't forget that we also do music distribution. That is our main agenda. If you have your music and you're wondering how you can earn from it, let us help you distribute your music in international platforms. Thank you so much for watching once again. This is Coffee with Val Show.